What's up, everyone? This is Snackbox. Hope you all are having a great day. Guys, in today's video, I want to talk about something that is really starting to piss me off, if I want to say so. I really don't want to be negative, but it is really bad. So what I want to talk about are gear ascensions, okay? As you can see here, I'm currently doing 100 runs in the Sand Devil. That means 4,000 energy that I will invest here into the Sand Devil. And I guarantee you that I won't be able to get the right ascension on one of my pieces with those 4,000 energy. So that's what I'm trying to get to. This feature, the gear ascension, is probably one of the most important parts about the game in terms of end game. When you try to min-max your builds, it really does have an effect in the arena, in PvE, doesn't matter where, those extra stats are really valuable. But at the same time, it is kind of the worst feature they have. And when I say that, I'm not even over exaggerating, because the cost that this takes in terms of energy is completely through the roof. Now, sometimes, as you can see here, you get lucky and you get the exact ascension that you need or want on your piece without even having to rework, right? So that is the perfect scenario. You have a resistance chest and you want a resistance ascension. Fine, okay? But this is not always the case. Let me show you the other side of the spectrum, okay? Let me show you. So I do have a piece that is ridiculous. 22 rework attempts to get attack percentage. Okay, so obviously for bottom pieces like gauntlets, chests, and boots, you have a lot more stats that you can get for ascensions, right? You have percentage stats, you have flat stats, you have on the chest, you have accuracy, resistance. On the boots, you have speed, which is actually good. And then on the gauntlets, you also have crit damage and crit rate, right? So there are a lot more stats than on the top pieces, right? Where you can only get flat attack, flat defense, flat HP ascensions. So the chance that you get here what you want is incredibly lower. Now, that is fine. That is not the problem. The problem is that if you want to ascend a piece, right? If you want to, let's just take this one, okay? If you want to ascend this, it costs you now 60 oil. That's fine. Okay. Now, if you want to rework, we already start at 3 dust. Now, why the hell are we starting at 3 dust? Why is it not 1? For example, right? Like, why is it 3? And then every time you try to rework, it will cost 1 more. It will go to 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. And it's going to stop at 9. So after 7 tries, you will be at 9 dust per try. 9 dust. That is insane. See, I don't know the drop rates for the dust, okay? All I can show you really is what I'm getting like out of my runs. I did like couple 100 super raids, okay? And I got like 20 to 30 dust, something like that, okay? So that means with 4k energy, I can maybe then, retry or rework it or try to get the ascension like 3 times, okay? And if I don't hit it, then yeah, whatever. Okay, you're screwed. Go and farm Sand Devil again. So there's no justification that it costs that much. What it does is it takes away the ability from players that don't have those resources to even try to get ascension right? So they lose out on a lot of stats. So for as a free-to-play player, you kind of hope you get the rework in like 1 or 2 tries, right? And after that, it's becoming such a huge investment that most of the time it's not worth it. Okay, so I remember when I didn't have, the resources that I have now, that I would go for pieces that, would get the ascensions instantly, unless it was a really good piece, right? Then it's worth the investment. But let me take a look. So this, for example, it's not a great piece, right? But I got the crit damage ascension without even having to rework the ascension, right? So I kept it, okay, and I still use it. So that is kind of like what you are hoping for as a free-to-play player or someone that doesn't have a lot of resources, as a low spender. And most of the times, it is much better to just wait for a piece like this than to invest all that energy and get your ascension right on a piece that is maybe mediocre or not that great. And, you still want to use it, but you can't get the ascension right. So you end up spending thousands and thousands of energy. And in my opinion, that shouldn't be the case, okay? But that is not the only problem about gear ascensions. Let's take a look at the oil cost, okay? Let's take a look at the oil cost. I really think there's a slight problem here and it doesn't add up, okay? So listen, you have to invest small oils, middle oils, and the big oils, right? So 60 oils for the first level, all right? 80 for the second. That's fine. We get a lot of small oil from the Sand Devil. That's not a problem. Same thing for Shogun. Not an issue. Now this is where it becomes a weird situation, because we have to pay 40 and then 60. That's 100 in total from level 3 to 4. But now, if we want to take it to rank 6, it's going to cost 50, okay? So we need double the amount of middle oils compared to the big ones, okay? But what we get is, what we get from our energy is different, okay? It's not the same proportional value. It already shows with the small oils, okay? Now, the answer for that was the oil mixer, okay? And that is the next big screw up, in my opinion. I mean, we need 100 oil, okay? To get 100 oil, you need to convert 1,000 lesser oil, okay? 1,000 lesser oil costs you for one piece, for just one artifact, 500,000 silver, okay? This is insane, because if you want to mix big ones, the big oils, right, the superior oils, let's see, so you need 50, right, for rank 5 and 6. That's gonna cost you 1,000,000 silver, all right? But we need 500 greater oil to do this. 500 greater oil, because at some point you're gonna end up without greater and superior oil. So this will cost you 2.5 million. And then converting this will cost you another 1,000,000. So it's 3.5 million to get one ascension to rank 6, right? If you're out of greater and superior oil, if you just want to mix it. I mean, how are we justifying the silver cost? Like, how is this justified? I don't know. Like, let me know in the comments below if you think this is a good feature. I mean, it is good that we can do it, like that it's there. But the amount of silver that it costs is just ridiculously high. And there's absolutely no reason for it, okay? This is min-maxing. This is not pulling mythicals, okay? Like, what are we doing here? This costs so much that people are not really using it. That is the thing, right? Unless you are a super kraken and you don't care about silver, you have enough silver, right? But for like casual players, this is completely useless. You need all your silver for other stuff. Everything in this game costs silver. Summoning costs silver. Upgrading gear costs silver. Glyphing, champion training, everything costs silver. So why the costs this so much silver? That is like, imagine I would do this like 10.5 million silver. I mean, Like how? Why? And like it doesn't make sense to me, right? It really doesn't. So on the other hand, I also want to show you like what it could be like. Like for example, here I got the HP Ascension straight away, which really fits the piece. So that is happening too. It's not like always, you know, a torture, right? Like sometimes you just have to rework once. I'm not saying that it's always happening, but when it happens, it is so frustrating because you keep on investing into one artifact or one accessory and it's just not getting the right stats. So my advice would be, for example, let's take speed boots, okay? So we have the percentage stats that's free, that possible reworks, right? We have free flat stats, and then we have speed. So that's 7 stats in total. My like my suggestion would be to, if you hit defense percentage once and you try to rework it, you cannot hit defense percentage again until you hit all the other stats, right? So for example, you would hit, like here we have speed. Now I would have to rework it like 6 times until I get speed again, right? So it's like a rotation instead of random. I don't know. For example, on the top row, I have so many pieces that I reworked. Let me see. Let me find one real quick. I don't know. I have one with like 10, 15 rework attempts on the top piece, right? That's crazy, okay? You only have like 3 stats and you want one out of those 3, and it kept going like, for example, I want to attack here, and it kept going like HP, back to defense, back to HP, back to defense, and like 10, 15 times, okay? I can't find the piece right now, but it happened, okay? So what is the thing with that? Why is this a thing? Why do I have to rework it 15 times when there are only 3 possible stats and go from, one stat back to the other when I just want that attack? How does that make sense? Like it's just frustrating for the player. There's no justification for this, in my opinion. And we had this system since years now, and I think it's time for a change. I really think it's time for a change. Improve the system, make it less expensive, either increase the drop rates for dust or rebalance the rework mechanic, because it is just insane. All right? I don't want to have to spend how much dust is this? 22 attempts. And by the way, I've seen way worse than this. I've seen people in the 30s, like 35, 38 rework attempts. Okay, that's like almost twice as much dust that I used here. Or it actually is even more than twice as much, because after the 7th attempt you get 9, right? You have to pay 9 dust. So when you do 7 rework attempts, you end up using 42 dust already, okay? And then it's only getting worse. So that would be, in this case, 15 times 9 plus the 42. So this cost me 177 dust, and I'm not even using it anymore because bomb champions are RIP, okay? So rest in peace, bomb champions, for now, until we get a solution, for total guard stacks, and maybe at some point bomb champions will come back, but as of now, they're really bad, okay? And yeah, so 177 dust for this piece, right? To just get the attack percentage ascension. Okay, that is insane. 22 rework attempts. And as I said, there were people, I saw some people with like 38 rework attempts. All right, so that would be another 16 tries 144 plus 177. 321 dust for one ascension. I have nothing more to say. So yeah, guys, I don't know how to, what's the best way to fix this. Maybe you guys know, maybe you have some ideas. Let me know in the comments below. In my opinion, something needs to be changed here. Like I said, either the drop rates for the dust needs to be improved so we get more dust, or the rework mechanics need to be changed. And remove the silver cost from mixing oils. Like, what's the point of that? Like, there's no point, there's no reason that it costs silver. We already kind of bought the oils with energy. Let us mix it without paying silver. There's no point that it costs silver. That is just greedy. Well, this was my rant for today. I usually don't do videos like this, but I feel like I really experienced this bad system a lot in the last, I don't know, couple weeks, when I tried to push a little bit further in PvP and tried to min-max my builds for PvP. And it's really annoying, okay? It's really annoying, and it's, I don't know, it shouldn't be that expensive. It is insane. Sometimes it's fine, right? Like I said, sometimes you get those, ascensions with like one rework attempt or a second try or third try, even if you have to try it like 5 times. I'm cool with that. But if you go up to like 15, 20, 30, why? Like, there's absolutely no reason for this other than make you waste your resources, okay? And I get that sometimes it is worth it. I mean, not really worth it, but it is worth it to get the right ascension on a incredibly good piece, right? Because you want to get the maximum efficiency out of that artifact, right? And this game is all about numbers, all right? All about stats. You want to have better stats, okay? And at the end game, every little piece of stat that you can get does make a difference. All right, here we go, guys. 100 super raids, 4,000 energy, and I got a total amount of 19 chaos dust, okay? How is this justified? I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments below. We're gonna try to rework one of my pieces that I want to get the right ascension on. I reworked yesterday a chest that is quite okay and usable, and I want to get the right ascension defense percentage on it, okay? And I'm already at 6 attempts, all right? So we can try 3 times, all right? So let's try. Flat HP. Flat defense. Defense percentage. Hey, there we go. After 9 attempts, okay? It only cost me, I don't know how much, like 60 dust or whatever. And yeah, I guess that's a good moment to end the video. And yeah, let me know in the comments below, guys. How do you feel about this system? Do you think it needs a rework? What is your opinion on it? I, explained my thoughts and everything I think about this. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button. It really goes a long way. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more raid content. The YouTube algorithm is going to suggest you a video that you might like right here. And see you in the next one.